Well, it's the kind of weather out there when he doesn't love nothing more than curling up in front of the fireplace with a good book. And for the first time in decades, Missoula's book lady is doing just that, likely reading to her grandkids. Dennis Bragg shows us the next chapter for Barbara Thoreau.
She's been technically gone for 6 months at Fact and Fiction, but there's a book lover spirit which Barbara Thoreau shared that will always be in stock on these shelves, even with her decision to retire.
And I wanted to, as I was still healthy, still loved what I was doing, saying now's the time to transition. And I was fortunate enough to have some people that I could train and know that the store was going to stay and have a lot of the same programs, a lot of the same energy, and it was all timing.
Barbara may be off on her own now, but you just can't imagine her without a book in her hand, a recommendation on the latest Northwest author, and always, always advocating for reading.
I'll be working with the library project, and so I tell people my book passion will now go there, and work with the Montana Book Festival, the Montana Book Award, and the Roxy. Roxy's now in my neighborhood, and it's just really nice to see some of those things happen.
For more than 30 years and over a 40-year career, Barbara did her best to build connections between writers and readers, bringing authors like Sherman Alexie, Rick Bass, Ivan Doig, James Lee Burke, and Tim Egan to Missoula, visits chronicled in an amazing collection of photos and other keepsakes. But it was a little series about a young wizard that was the most remarkable thing she saw over those years.
J.K. Rowling did so much for reading, for books, for young people being excited about a book, for the publishing industry realizing they could publish in the summer, that people would buy a 500-page book, that people would come out at midnight so they could start reading it. That was great. And, that helped us get out of one of those recessions as far as people saying, oh no, reading doesn't matter anymore. It does matter.
And I had to ask her what her best advice is for aspiring authors.
Start figuring out who's doing what do you like about what's going on. You don't necessarily have to go to school to learn all of that. Get some common sense about things. Do your research.
It worked for her and that little bookstore on Higgins.
I said, I'm going to do the research until I get a red light. And I didn't get any red lights. I might have had some caution signs. But the red lights weren't there. I had a dream, and Missoula allowed me to have it build into what it is. I couldn't have done it without readers. I couldn't have done it without press, with authors, with just all the many factions that made it all come together. And that's what I am most proud of.
In Missoula, Dennis Bragg, MTN News.
Barbara has some aspirations to start a book blog at some point, but this Christmas she's spending time with her grandkids in New Jersey for the first time in years, and we bet she's reading